Sunburn just dropped and there's a lot to talk about. The sophomore studio album from singer-songwriter Dominic Fike consists of 15 tracks diving into heartbreak, regret, jealousy, and more. We're going to hop in and break down each and every song on this record and give you my thoughts and opinions on it all. Let's jump right in with the first track. The opening track has Dominic looking back on his past, really setting us up for the stories he will tell throughout this album. The photo album he's looking at is faded, saying he would tell his past self how it ends if he had the chance, knowing how hard of a life he had growing up. The second verse shows how friends and family act now that he is successful. They didn't care about the fame or awards until he bought them the family house. He tells the struggle his mom went through, ending up going to jail, leading to the family struggling to live on their own without her. He brings this up multiple times throughout the album, as well as bringing up how he grew up and got into trouble a lot. Later in the album, he speaks on how he was also put into jail, and we'll get into that when we get to the tracks, but he also finishes his song out by talking about ripping the hair from his head from the amount of stress he felt. Ant Pile is my favorite of the 3 singles released for this album prior to its actual drop. It's got some very 2000s-ish rock riffs, and it focuses on relationships throughout the years of his life growing up, starting with the playground in 1st grade where someone was tied to an ant pile. Diving deeper into those years of puberty with high school relationships and the obstacles that are parents during those years, Dominic's reflection leads us towards a relationship way more serious and loving as he is growing up with this person, talking about their first date and how she was allergic to her entree. The second verse ends with Dominic naming examples of the way he's seen this girl and how it can't change the way he sees her. The second chorus to this song has an even more powerful instrumental than the first, and it really caps it off perfectly. Think Fast is absolutely awesome. It features Weezer and is so beautiful. The first verse, Dominic tells us about how he is born to cry, sing, then leave. The chorus gives an idea of confusion he's feeling based on a girl claiming he will find out what she means. If it's not a puzzle, what is she talking about, he says. He bursts into a slick rap verse mentioning 2 is an odd number when he is involved. He says he grew up next to this girl, insecure about himself and how she wouldn't be next to him if she knew what he was in for. He says, I'd lose then lost faith. I'd bruise up my face, she'd kiss, they go away, implying this girl is all he needed to heal himself. The bridge concludes the song with similarities to the intro, but this time saying when he is dead, everyone will cry, sing, then leave. It hurts and stings when he thinks of what he saw in this girl he grew up with, and we assume things didn't go well based on what we've heard through this album so far, and the tracks ahead. The song pays major homage to Undone the Sweater Song by Weezer, and the guitar and instrumental in general goes absolutely insane during the back half of this track. If you're enjoying the video so far, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it so much. We'll have so many more reviews coming out over time on this channel. Sick is once again a song about being hurt over this girl. He says that even if he could go see her, he wouldn't because they make each other so sick. And they can never be friends because he is still in love with her. How toxic! He talks about how her thing was to try to take away half of him, breaking him essentially. He has a really deep and clever lines in the 3rd verse saying he was heavier before he met this girl, blood loss, alluding to him cutting himself from the sadness she caused him. He gives further proof of this with the line, you know how to get under my skin, love clots, which is such good wordplay, and something I'm sure a lot of this generation can relate to, as sad as that is. He ends the song by saying he'd leave her bed in the middle of the night and wishes he never met her. 7 hours I visited beside you. 7 Hours is a super slick and catchy song with really beautiful guitar. I love how Dominic's guitar in this album has a lot of sliding going on. It's really well done and nice to listen to. He talks about how he drove 7 hours just to see this girl. He has some astrology related lyrics here, and this is just one of those songs that are really hard to break down. It's hard to know every meaning behind it, but with what we can gather, he wants to be with this girl and can't control her. As long as she does not lie to him, he wants to be with her. Yeah. Dancing in the Courthouse was the first single released for this album. It tells us about his life growing up, his many run-ins with the law, as well as the music video showing much of the area he lived in. The opening to this song talks about how people act and the choices we make, opening with the line, weather controls our day, and having lines like, we make the ground our grave by laying in it, we make our problems fade by facing them. The chorus is such a vibe, and it talks about being in the courthouse where the music really changed his life. In past interviews, he has brought up that his life was almost ruined with law enforcement. Dominic was formerly on house arrest before the release of his first EP due to an altercation with an officer and his brother, leading to Dominic being accused of attacking the officer when he was really trying to calm the situation down. Using lines in this song, make the jury come up with two guesses and come up with a new sentence, really relates to his past troubles with the law. He also mentions being rude and a superhero like Bruce Banner, of course being the Incredible Hulk. Mona Lisa is one of the singles from the new Spider-Verse movie. I'm sure you've heard it even if you don't think you have. It's amazing. No pun, of course. It's a joy to listen to. When using the Mona Lisa in a song, it's often describing a love interest. In this song, it's Dominic's ex, who he shows he still has feelings for. Mona Lisa is labeled as a fierce free spirit, which connects directly to his cheating ex, who never gave Dominic a proper apology. He makes it clear he still cares for her, but she doesn't give him any thought. She just is one. Dominic expresses how hard it is to get over her, using examples of the Mona Lisa painting as to seeing her everywhere he goes. If I put a belly on you, maybe could've made it last. Bodies explores a lot of dark themes, opening with how if this girl never came in to check on him, he would have hung himself that day. Dominic discusses jealousy, talking about all the people this girl slept with and how she has a baby daddy. He chalks it up to it just being in the past, so he tries not to let it get to him too much. He brings up her exes, freshman flings, and her losing count on the amount of bodies she has, saying that if she forgot the number, they can always start fresh, so it's just him. Remy Wolf appears on the song for the final chorus, and I truly love this song so much. Same shit but different days where I'm from. Bitches dropping like old ladies and such. Yeah. Sunburn opens with Dominic telling his misdemeanor to slow down, as he often got into trouble growing up, having clever wordplay on the Florida sun and people throwing shade. He brings up the girl from Bodies, saying she graduated to have a paycheck and the baby daddy isn't in the picture anymore. As mentioned on the opening track, he discusses the struggle he went through after his mom got arrested. He mentions how people grew up around him while he pursued music. His mom often worried about losing it all, but Dom promised to not let that happen, claiming he would die before he'd let it. He says he's picking up the strap before they pick up his slack, of course referring to his guitar strap and music career. He says to lay him in the sun when he dies, really connecting with where he grew up. The second verse talks about Brody getting sent to juvie, saying he should have stashed the brick meaning cocaine or marijuana. Before playing with the toolie, also meaning gun, he had a scholarship, showing how his life really went downhill. And it sounds like, Pasture Child talks about a really well put together girl Dominic knew, claiming she only wore skirts that went past her ankles and couldn't watch TV after 9. He'd call her at night and talk to her quietly, imagining her being with him. He speaks on her success as she grew up, becoming an all-American mastermind and writing a book that he wasn't in. He says that he still calls her occasionally and gets an answer from time to time, wishing she was with him the way he wished the same when he was younger. And it was never love that you wished for. 4x4 is a bit of a hard song to break down. From what I can gather, it is about someone, whether it's a family member or a love interest, which is more likely based on the themes of this album, passing away. It is the saddest track on this album to me by far. His vocal performance is beautiful, as he sings about praying to a God who won't give back their last breath. The song talks about how everything they were told as a child was only part of a lie, implying a not so happy ending to their story. Frisky is one of the most catchy, fun songs on the entire project. It explodes into the chorus and talks about being drunk in fancy places with a girl that nobody gives their effort to. He, on the other hand, is willing to give his efforts to her. The chorus is so fun, it makes me want to dance. The second verse shows how frisky he really is feeling, asking what she did to get to him and what she's going to do now that she's here. Mama's Boy is super unique and was the third single released for this album. This song sounds like something you would hear on Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino. It's got a creepy vibe with really unique vocal and production choices, and it's growing on me with every listen. He talks about how he is made of blood where you are made of plastic. You being his mother, who's made to love and care for him considering she wanted to be a mother in the first place. We often see our parents as someone in charge and more important than us rather than our equal. Dominic says he wishes he was a toy in the chorus, likely so that he could be something way more enjoyable to his mother and be able to do only what she wants him to do, so she could constantly be proud of him. Fike shows a real need of approval from his mother in the song. He uses lines like "half of my heart is in your chest," showing how important his mother is to him. The decisions he makes are impacted by her. He knows he does not need approval to do things he wants, but still prefers if his mother had guidance for him. The song ends with a kid-like jingle spelling, giving off a pretty eerie vibe. This song was for sure one of the hardest to break down on the entire track list, but I'm trying my best with what I got. I'll be gone like summer. Dark is one of the most vulnerable songs on an album full of those. It's a perfect setup to the outro song, discussing him looking up in a broken apartment watching the storm forming above, reminiscing on his old beat guitar and living in trashy cars, with tasteless food in a room with no space. The second verse is probably the most honest, brutal part of this entire album, going from moving out of his mom's house to buying his mom a house, replacing her with a girl he met. Eventually falling out of a relationship with her leads to him becoming someone his mom hates, his father. Someone who cheats, lies, and hurts his favorite people. The song closes with Dominic and his mother reminiscing on early memories. What kind of woman makes it hard? What Kind of Woman is a perfect outro for this album. It is so raw and real. The way Dominic delivers the lyrics is amazing, and the guitar is being played so heavy in this song. He questions what kind of woman makes life harder for the people they love. This person told Dominic that he can learn a lot from her, but she is so cruel to him. Perhaps this being the same woman that replaced his mother, as he mentioned on the song Dark. The song ends with hard strumming of the guitar, as you can tell Dom really just let it all out, concluding this beautiful record in a perfect way. This album is so insanely close to perfect in my opinion. There really isn't a single skip on the entire thing. It has some insanely creative decisions, it's bold and tries new things, and I respect that so much. As of right now, some of my top tracks are Think Fast, Bodies, Pasture Child, 4x4, and What Kind of Woman. The album did just come out literally a couple hours ago as I am recording this, so take it how you will. If you haven't checked out this album, please do. It is a wonderful experience, and I'm seriously so happy with the final product Dominic cooked up for us. If you like this review, please like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. There's going to be more reviews. The next one coming out is going to be for Glaive's album. I care so much that I don't care at all. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Can't wait to see you guys next time.